Alright. I am Pepsi. Alright, you have a Caitlyn mid. Nice. So, you're playing Ashe bot, right? You're not playing Ashe mid?
No, I'm playing Ashe bot.
Okay, good. You have the same exact ping as me. Are you East Coast?
No, I'm West Coast.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess not exactly West Coast. I live in Utah, so like
Oh, okay.
mountain.
Yeah, that's about the same distance west as I am east away from the server actually, so that makes sense. Oh, just wait till you get high elo, man, and that Teemo jungler is an actual Teemo jungle one trick, and the Kog'Maw mid is a scripter.
Yeah.
But he should have gone fervor on. Oh, he's going AP Cog. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you do a camp in the silo or no?
No, we don't.
All right. One tip I'll give you now is take names off. It takes up way too much space on your screen. It's not something mandatory that I like make students do or whatever, but I think it's a lot better way of playing, and that's what most of the pros do for a reason. Did you say you do or don't take a camp? Sorry.
No, we don't.
And you took fervor. Yeah, you should have warlords.
Okay.
Ashe is almost always warlords, if not always.
Actually, I didn't know that, so that's good to know.
Yeah. Is this post nerf or pre nerf?
I think this is post nerf.
So this patch, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright. And your what elo? Gold 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my bad getting to the leash late because I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, that's... Okay, so you have to stay there the extra like 2 seconds or whatever, yeah, which is obviously not great for you. Alright, the enemy bot doesn't do a camp as well. That's fine. I'd say if you don't duo with a support regularly, there's no point in you doing a camp because you can never bet on them being able to do it properly.
Yeah, I don't
It's
do
too
it
big
with
of
a
a risk to
support.
have them screw it up, yeah. Okay. Let me see how you walked into this lane again, actually. I always look at the way the enemy walks to lane, just out of natural habit from when I play, you know? And then I don't notice how you walk to lane just initially, so I go back. Okay. So what you should have done was auto this one and stutter step forward between every auto. Not back and forth, okay?
Okay.
Because you have 600 range, she has 500 or 550. So use the 50 range leash that you have on her, as well as your W with the slow, and the fact that Braum can beat the Alistar in the 1v1 and then move on to Vayne. So like he can go here and then rotate over to help you out if you continue fighting her. And he's going to relic these quick, right? So then you're going to have a minion advantage when these come up. And then as you keep trading, if she trades back into you, you're only taking damage from 3 casters, and she's taking damage from 2 melees and 3 casters. Right?
Right.
That's like small gains that you can take that aren't like you're not taking any risk with them because you know you're gonna have the natural advantage, right?
Right.
And you can actually go for it, yeah. See, I don't like that. You want to auto the minion, and you want to get over, like I said, use your range leash on her. Forget about him, because she has fervor, and she's going to take all this damage and not be able to regen it as fast. As she should, because both of you should have warlords here. So, use the range leash on her, and start clearing this first. Like, auto this, and walk around till you have this, and then auto her. And then continue to auto the creeps so that they, even though you get some aggro from these, it makes it push faster. Because then they're aggroing you instead of your minions, and then your minions are hitting her. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Alright. It's also the fact that if she tries to continue trading into you, because the minions have the 300 leash around them, right? it's a lot easier for you to walk out of this leash because you have the extra 50 range on her. That's another part that people don't realize, because a lot of times people are like, oh, but you only have this what do you call it, this 50 range on her. She's still going to be able to auto you just as fast, right? Or like the same amount of times this early on, especially because she has tumble, so the slow doesn't matter as much in terms of getting an extra auto off. But what they don't realize is once she's in this range leash and then your minion comes around here and she's within here, she's going to be 50 range more so into the leash than you are, right? So
Right.
you're going to be able to escape minion aggro before she does. If any of this is too complicated, by the way, you can slow me down and I'll explain.
No, I understand.
Okay, good. Because I feel like Gold 2 is a good spot to start talking about this type of stuff. Um, maybe not way too in depth, but I feel like that's something that you can understand just by, like studying it and trying to like imprint in your mind that this is the scenario you should look for certain things, like especially when you have a minion advantage. See, like you shouldn't be afraid here. What you should have done is had this river warded already, or I mean, had walked up at least, had been walking up at this point. Then you ward this, and you walk up, and you legit just wreak havoc on their bot lane. And then if they start moving up, then you know it's obvious that he's coming from either this or this fog of war. And then you have way more than enough time to back off. Plus way more than enough disengage to even 2v3 potentially. Especially if you had warlords. But in this scenario, even if you don't, since there's so many freaking minions, you can turn on them. That's when, like, when Forgiven has the in-game name Let Us 2 versus 3, and he says that shit all the time, he doesn't take fair 2v3s. He baits this shit out, and then he wards, and he harasses the enemy bot lane really hard with the range leash that I was telling you about, right?
Yeah.
And takes that safe trade, and then the enemy bot lane is bitching to the jungler. Please, please come down. We need, like, they keep harassing us. They're constantly pushed in, but the jungler doesn't realize the only times that they are harassing and, like, just shitting on them this hard is when they know they have this minion advantage big enough to 2v3 if their jungler comes with this range on them. Because what happens is if the jungler comes from, like, let's say here, and the only way he can instant engage here is if he would flash over this wall. Okay, well now he's 2v1. Because he's over this wall, and they still have all this range on them because Ashe is using the range properly. And then they just 2v1 this guy as they're walking back. And if they continue trying to engage, even if Alistar flashes here, then you guys have summoners to get away and turn. So, yeah, you can always set yourself up for winning plays and just bait them into doing it. And in low elo, you'll always, always, always catch people in that trap of going for those plays. Alright, that's good. That's actually good trading. I would like you to have that worded for sure, but especially because it's this time and the jungler could be here like right now, but now this is a time where you can 2v3 once again because the other wave caught up. But yeah, that was a really good trade to follow up with. So what you can do here is base for a call, a potion, and a pink ward. That's the deft base. And if he ever like bases, or if he ever pushes like this and gets that level 3 with enemy AD still on their tower, and the wave sets up like this, right? So his reinforcements get to lane way faster than yours.
Yeah.
And this pushes back to you. And you end up only losing maybe 1 or 2 minions. Alright?
So
And
so I should.
you get the call, and you get a potion or pink ward. And then you get to stay in lane against her, and you get your 2 item spike faster.
Okay.
And
So I
she
should
doesn't
have
get the
backed.
call by. So you get it's 100% like a timing attack back for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So I should have just backed right as I pushed the wave in. So when I
Yep.
got back to lane, the enemy minions would have been pushed to my turret, so I wouldn't have lost anything.
Yeah, and what would have happened anyway is that ward would have been running out right then that you would have placed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you would want to base anyway, because the jungler could be coming here at any time now, and the wave is going to be even this time, so you don't want to take a 2v3 or bait them out, and the Alistar's playing a lot more aggressive, so you know the jungler is probably on this side. Or at least coming out of base and ready to lane gank or something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, you know what I did again? Actually? Holy moly. I'll get that
What?
someday. of these days I'll turn off Flux before the session instead of during.
Oh, I heard that in your VOD. What is that?
So pretty much if you work at night, it can be really bad on your eyes and like on a screen, obviously. So what it does is it pretty much gives your screen the effect that gaming glasses do.
Oh, okay.
For yeah, like it's a lot easier on the eyes. And yeah, I have eye doctors in the family, so
Right. That makes sense.
pay attention to that shit. All right, lane's pushing into you, which is good. Braum should not be moved up here this far because they should have just put free damage down onto him, really. But they were just scared because they're low elo. Oh, by the way, you should have put a second point into W level 3, and then you could have gotten E level 4.
Right.
All right. You should be tabbing to check the enemy ADC CS here and there. Just to get like a feel for how you're doing in lane. Whether you want to like keep farming or whatever it may be. Like if you notice that the enemy AD is just bad at CSing, there are a lot of times where your mindset can go to more passive than it would be normally. Because you know you'll just outscale him by out farming him.
Right.
But that's for most ADs in this elo, so I would just focus on the fundamentals like I was telling you earlier. Because they'll just screw up their CS if you pressure them at all in any way, shape, or form. Even if it's actually pretty free CS. Okay, so now you really want to be careful stepping up, because their jungler could camp this bush if he's smart. And once you get to like, maybe mid to high plat, I think junglers start knowing how to do that kind of basic bait around a minion wave that they would see coming back. But they'd have to get really lucky because they don't actually monitor lanes usually. So it's usually like when they get really lucky looking at a lane on their way out from base and they realize they could set up a trap in the lane, but it does happen around the MMR range. So start practicing now, like realizing the proper fundamental play in this scenario is like they could have a pink ward here, right? Which is what they should. So they should have a pink there, and then the jungler sitting right here, ready for you guys to move up with that wave. And it's a free kill for them, potentially double, right?
Yeah.
Because you guys don't have 6. So, yeah. And then even if you move up here without vision and try, he can just come right around. Oh. Yeah, I totally forgot it's Teemo. I mean, the thing is, it doesn't change a lot of the stuff I was telling you before. Because you could still 2v3 him there. Actually, it's even easier because he doesn't have any CC. So yeah, you'd be fine. But he would have red buff in any of the scenarios where he was gonna be ganking. So the stuff I said before still applies, but maybe what I have most recently said about him coming around from the try. That's the only thing that would change because I don't think a Teemo would be able to just take that path without the red because it's coming up now, so he wouldn't have had it at the time. All right, you should, yeah. I would say, okay, if you have Fervor, you have to back off there, but if you had Warlords, you could have just kept harassing her, and even if you took that minion damage, then you'd be able to regen, but you'd be able to put a lot of damage down on her with Alistar out of lane.
Yeah. I've never taken Warlords before, so that's my bad. I didn't know that it was that good on Ashe.
Yeah, it is. It's wonderful. And Sivir, too. Ashe, Sivir, and very situational Lucian and Vayne. And Trist and Jinx in certain scenarios. Alright. That's fine. You haven't really tabbed at all. Alright. Yeah, it's good that you're paying attention to your map. But yeah, like I said, you could be tabbing more just to get a general feel of how the rest of the map is doing and your lane.
So, I know this is going to sound vague, but what should I be looking for when I tab besides enemy CS and stuff?
Itemization. So like if you're playing Ashe, who has QSS for your ultimate, who has Boots of Swiftness for your slow, just so you know, like they won't be affected as much. And like by that, and so you'll have to potentially use summoners if you're going to be chasing, because yeah, the slow won't get them as hard. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, here I'd argue you need to ult her right
Oh,
now.
yeah, I noticed
Because
that.
what happens when you ult her is either she flashes this way like a baddie and eats it, she flashes this way and Braum ults, or any other place she flashes, she just gets shreked either way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is kill right here, 100% kill.
And so I hit Ollie because I waited too long.
Yeah. You shouldn't have even ult. Yeah, you shouldn't even ulted there. At that point, you should just let Braum keep going and then save your heal for him. And as soon as she pops up, you ult her right here. Pretty much. I mean, she
Yep.
wouldn't really be here, but like the scenario would have played out different, right? Well, wherever she would have popped up next, you either ult her or you could flash in a place like where you hit the ult on her, because she would be damaged enough. Yeah, see, and you're like playing around with your mana too much by ulting there and like not having anything else left. It's not good. Q. Oh, okay, leave. That's fine. Oh, that's nice. Alright. That's nice of him to give Cho'Gath a free lane.
Yeah.
You should E the Tribush just to get his back timer pretty much. Okay, you see Teemo top. Oh my god, that's why you should E the Tribush. Okay. Yeah, you would have seen him. And now you had to burn Flash. I swear to God.
And I canceled on auto here, which was bad, but got him anyways.
Do you see why I tell my players not to take coin flip plays?
Yeah.
Because you, like, see, you playing more passive, like, when you told me, yo, I play more passive, and I told you I would much rather that than a student who just plays stupid aggressive all the time, because it's way easier to teach in that regard. Like, if you just wait for the enemy team to do stupid shit, they will always do stupid shit. That's why they're in this elo, right?
Right.
And then you just abuse that in this regard. I actually like Runons into IE right now, especially with the Q damage, or this, yeah, like the 1 second nerf. So yeah, I think what you should do is go BF Sword into Berserker Greaves into Runons, and then finish IE. That's the default. It's like that's the core, but obviously there's like it variates, right?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the ult difference in cooldown, it's not that big. Like you'll have it for every time you need to, for a fight, like for dragon, etc. It's not gonna
Okay.
be an issue. And then every time you do end up using it, they're either gonna get low enough where they have to reset, so your ult will be back up by the next time you have to fight again, or you'll be able to get a kill, so you already have the advantage regardless. Oh, okay, all right. That's much better timing. No, why didn't you chase? You see that they're fighting in mid. There's no one that could be there right now. Okay. You could have taken, yeah, you could have taken an extra step towards Vayne and maybe got the W off to kill her if you DI'd properly. I think. Let's check. All right. Hold on. Yeah, I think you walk a little more than you. I think you should walk more than you did there. Alright, see, so since he inputted here, as soon as you see that, you know you have room to walk some more, okay? because he's not gonna be in range to walk out now because your slow is still applied on him. You know what I mean? And he just walked this way for some reason
Mm-hmm.
after knocking this guy. So you know that like when he walks this way, it gives you ground immediately to continue going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then you can overshoot him and then you're like here and then auto again and then you're here and then you W her because it's going to be up and you'll have the mana for it at that point and she dies. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right.
How good is Call exactly? Because I've never taken that either, which is the other problem.
Oh no, I would only do it right now in this meta. I would only ever do it if I could get a good timing attack back that easy. Like that's the only time I would do it, strictly because you are gonna get a very real advantage and one where you don't really have to do anything different to get yourself ahead, and you still get ahead. You know what I mean with it? And then like your laning is buffed up, and it just destroys them based on your itemization and they don't have anything to answer it. I would say maybe on Ashe if you're in that scenario and you had 650. Okay, so you could have went like a potion and then boots dagger or double dagger. So that could work. Actually, yeah, boots dagger with a potion there could work. But the thing is that I would have liked to see is the call for Ashe's disgusting 2-item spike, because her 2-item is a lot stronger than a lot of current meta ADs, even with the nerfs. You know. So yeah, if you've watched like IWCQ, there's been a lot of Ashe play, even though it's like wild cards, so obviously not the best teams in the world, but there has been some pretty good play. Like it's still pro play to an extent. So um, yeah, there's been a lot of Ashe play with the build I was telling you about with Infinity Edge and Runons, and it's been working out really well for those teams when the Ashe gets her 2-item. Every time they team fight, it's just glorious how much damage she puts out. So. Alright, you can slow play this, but yeah, look at minimap. So that guy's coming up. That's what I say. Slow play, because he could have, if you didn't see him from here, he could have been coming from lane, right? Because he's been
Yeah.
like cheesing this entire time. This guy's the top laner, and he's been like mid bot, and like yeah, Cho'Gath like got to just AFK push and take first tower. So you have to be careful for that. But if you do, then your team's gonna get leads somewhere else. So there are scenarios where you'll have to just like pray that your team will get the lead somewhere else. But if it's just going to be a 1v0 lane, then anyone is going to be able to do that, you know. So you can't get that upset about being camped like this, especially when they're not even getting pressure on your tower at all. You got to be really careful. I wouldn't even step up. Wow. Okay, that's actually really good control for a gold player. No way.
What?
You didn't move up. Dude, what the fuck? In S4, when I first hit like D1 as an ADC, I still did that shit. I still moved up in that scenario. But that's because I don't know. I'm very aggressive as a player. Anyway, but that's very impressive. Good job. I don't see like bronze through gold. I guess that's not fair actually. Gold 2 is like higher end gold, so maybe like gold through platinum players ever like respect in that regard. But nice. If you have that down, then yeah, climbing will be very easy for you. I think. Because that's usually the hardest part for people to get. Oh man, you should have
Yeah.
W'd the All-Star.
Yeah, I noticed that. And I
Take what's
think I die
guaranteed
here.
there. You tried to do too much. Okay.
Yeah, I die here.
Spoilers, man. Yeah, see, if you had Warlords there, that's easy peasy. You should go Zerker's Greaves plus, I'd say the Brawlers here. Because if you... Zerker's Greaves gives you a ton of attack speed, so... You can go Brawlers for the slow. The slow is very nice to have against that team right now. You should close this. It clutters.
What do you mean, close what?
This character thing. Do you see this icon on the bottom left of the portrait? You should click
Yeah.
that. Yeah, right there. Click that to close it. And then you could check your stats by pressing C or whatever your hotkey is. Whenever you need to. I just don't. I want you to have as like small amount of clutter on the screen as you can. That's why I said like turn the names off and whatnot. Oh, you did go. Okay, Zerkers and Griefs. How come you didn't get or Zerkers and Brawlers, whatever? How
Um,
come? How come you didn't get a pink?
I think that was just bad on my part, or maybe wait, I actually don't know
I
why I
think
didn't
you
get a
had the
pink.
gold. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I did. It was just wasn't paying
Yeah.
attention or something.
You can move up because you have Kha'Zix. If they go on you here, then you have ult to disengage. Yeah, that's fine. You could have actually E'd beforehand. Sorry. Yeah, you can go if you E and you see that nobody's there. You can't just go with the full fog of war behind them and potential Wukong TP up. Use your Q. Okay, nice. You did. Alright, cool, cool. Push next wave, push next wave, push next wave. Their bot lane's still dead. Nice. Hell yeah. Very good. Alright, leave. How many games do you have played this season?
Think like 500,
Okay.
at least like 500 ranked from my knowledge.
From a 1 to 10, how good is this game by you?
Um,
Like on compared to the average game that you play, right?
right.
And like from on a 1 to 10 scale.
I don't know, maybe like a 6 or a 7.
Huh, okay. All right. So your Braum is out of lane. You can show it to kind of bait here because they'll see you as being there by yourself and they'll think they can potentially have dive on you. But with Alistar ult nerf to rank 1, um, that dive actually becomes somewhat risky for him.
What is
If
the
Braum comes in
All-Star ult
behind
nerf?
you. Huh?
What's the All-Star ult nerf? Sorry.
It went from 75% damage reduction to 50% alter. Shit. Okay. Shove, shove, shove. E their jungle so that you know Wukong isn't coming, and then shove that wave. Alistar even left the lane. You don't need to be with them here. They even have an AD carry with them on it, and a Kha'Zix and Cho'Gath Braum. So okay, what the fuck? All right, I find myself not having much to say about team fights in low elo. I'm sorry. Um, Yeah, you could have W'd the Alistar behind you and walked out of his WQ range by going up, because the enemy team had so much throw on them and Wukong was so low that there's no way he's coming back in or he's just gonna die anyway. So you can just W back to slow him as soon as you see him if you had a little more awareness, and then walked out and then helped out with this little battle going on here. So we would have gotten split between two little battles, but then your team could just ignore Alistar after he uses his shit. But then if he is the only catchable one, he becomes the next target. And since the slow is on him, and then Braum gets to stun him, and then you can go back and like re-engage with the slow, or re-engage the chase, with the slow, then you guys can kill him. That's the only thing I'd say you could have done better there. Ooh, wow, hidden gem.
Yeah, I changed my name from Dab Cutscene a while back, and then they surrendered.
Were you a Taric player in the past?
No, that's what someone
No.
else asked me. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Um, Alright, so since this is getting uploaded and you are a package deal student, so for your first lesson, we'll go over this recorded, if that's cool with you. Pretty
Mm-hmm.
much what you're going to do is for the next week, you watch this VOD. I mean, every time you need to brush up on, the theory, there's a lot of stuff in here, obviously, right? A lot of new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna just take out Notepad and just take a note, like bullet point it, real simple, every time you see something. And then every game you play, before, during, and after the game, you focus on one of those bullet points each, okay? And you do that every game until you feel like you have that bullet point down. And then you keep going down the list, and you do that by repetition. And then if you feel a little rusty at something because you learned something new, you know, like some people forget a language after they've I'll forget a language completely after they've learned a new one if they don't use the old one. And it's the same way on a much smaller scale, obviously, with just game theory. So if you forget something, then you go back and then you do it again. You practice it until you have it. And that's how you get better. You just keep practicing. That's why the pros right now have 10 to 15 hour work days, because they do this, and the repetition that they actually have is useful because they're practicing with one point in mind that they're trying to improve at all the time. And when you get good enough to a point, it's more so like they have to get better at this area, or like something very general instead of the very nitty gritty, because a lot of times they have the micro down. So yeah, a lot of times it becomes more about just adapting to the meta, and yeah, they pretty much practice that 10 to 15 hours while playing whatever champs they're going to have to be playing and programming themselves to play as if they're playing on stage. So, yeah, and that's why a lot of you see like TSM players don't stream as much during the on season, like whatsoever. Like if it's not off season, most of the pros actually are really, really like keeping stream schedules down, and they only really stream if they're playing solo queue at the very end of the day for like an hour or two after scrims and before like they go out. But I can't honestly, sometimes I can't believe they do, or they have the energy for solo queue after the days that they have. But anyway, yeah, I digress. Other than that, so as for the questions that you're gonna send me on Skype, right? You specifically asked me a question where I told you, that's a bad question, but don't feel bad about it. Everybody does it all the time. Ask super generic questions. You're like, how do I play into Lissandra, right? Well, instead of saying that, from now on, every time you need a champion matchup, you tell me what the lane is that you're playing, and then you give a screenshot or just tell me the team comps on each side, and then like what elo you are or whatever it may be. You can even link like an OPGG, and then I can go to the live game, or you can just screenshot the live game screen, and then that would help me help you itemize a lot better in that regard. And like type back to you without actually using up session time, right? So then, um, if you have other questions, like about something specific, micro or macro, like you say, hey, in this regard, should I have, like in this clip, right? You can make a Place TV clip or a YouTube clip or whatever, or even a screenshot and say, should I have sidestepped this way or that way? Or what's the correct thing to do here? Should I freeze? Or should I be pushing out? Or what is this wave going to do in this scenario? Um, or like junglers could ask me, where should I be tracing the other jungler? Or when I count this CS, what camps do I know are being taken? Etc. Etc. So yeah, just make sure to give an accurate representation and give as much detail as possible to the question you're asking, because the more you say and the more you give me, the better like diagnosis I can give you, or I mean, like I guess prognosis, um, afterwards, because everything in League of Legends is situational, and in any MOBA, honestly. Like your itemization is going to be situational. Skill maxing, even in a lot of situations, is situational. Like um, the way you play your champion, obviously, is incredibly situational. The champion you pick, very situational. So yeah, you can't leave generic questions out because it's like there's 100 different answers to how am I going to play versus. Actually, not 100. There's like a million different answers, right? Like because it could be how do you play versus Lissandra as any of the five roles, with what summoner spells, like what itemization, what skill maxing order, etc. So yeah, as long as you give as much info as possible, that's what we want out of the questions being asked. Through text, obviously, on Skype.
Right.
So, do you have any questions for this session in specific?
I was about to ask something, but oh yeah, does range advantage apply to Lucian since Lucian has a dash and can dash forward?
Well, Lucian plays a lot different. And that's actually you can get. Do you play a lot of Lucian?
He's my most played, so yeah.
Yeah, and with the Ashe and Jhin nerfs, he's actually potentially coming back, and he's being played a lot in IWC and certain scenarios in Korea. But anyway, Lucian plays a lot different. So yeah, get a Lucian clip for next time, and we'll do that then. But I'll teach you all about Lucian range, and then how to utilize dashes and everything in a range disadvantage lane. So yeah, it applies in a way to Lucian, but the thing is, like, Vayne has a tumble, right? And she has 50 more range than Lucian. But Lucian has more immediate offensive power early game with his combo especially. Because if he gets the auto in to trade with you, against Ashe it's not as possible for him because of the slow if he
Yeah.
tries to move up. But he has to initiate with an auto before he even E's.
Yeah.
So if he auto E's, then he could get a good trade in if he uses the E as the reset. But yeah, that's the gist of that. But then there's obviously a lot more that comes with it as laning versus Lucian. Lucian played actually, so
auto E is an auto reset.
yeah, E is an auto reset within itself, technically speaking. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. If you have any questions, anything like that, feel free to hit me up with them on Skype. And yeah, for next time, try to get a little bit longer of a game so we could go over more. Like, get a Lucian game and try to make it, let's say, a 28 to 30 minute game at least. Right?
Yeah, I tried to get a Lucian game, but that one lasted 20 minutes, and
Oh, so you're just stomping these games, huh?
Yeah, and the Ashe game was 20 minutes, and then my Twisted Fate game was 26 minutes, but I wasn't able to record on that one.
Okay, gotcha.
I know my runes. Would you do me a favor? Could you take a look at my runes and masteries?
Yeah, definitely. Send me your setups. I'll screenshot them and send them on the Skype chat, and then I'll either screenshot or just tell you straight up what you should change.
Yeah.
All right. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, man.